huge congregation, and he said, we're getting ready to have our Valentine's Day dinner. But just understand, in this church, a relationship, we consider a relationship between a man and a woman. And I sat there to myself and I said, why would this leader stand on this pulpit and make that kind of statement? What gives him the validity or the gall to talk about anyone and who they love or how they love? So you know how when you exiting out the church, you have they're at the door to shake your hand or whatever. I kept my hands in my goddamn pockets and I walked right out the door. As soon as we got to the car, my grandma was like, yeah, what she said, she was like, now that was rude. I said, you're right, that was rude, because he didn't have to stand up there and say that. You're demonizing a people. I bleed blood like you bleed blood. You up there breathing the same AC air in here I'm breathing. Ain't nothing different between you and I besides you're standing up there, and the way that you're standing up there and having a conversation and telling a story, I can sit up there and have a conversation, tell a story as well. And I guarantee you it will come more so from a place of love. Another reason why I don't go to church is because once I started reading, I've been on my spiritual journey now for probably about close to 10 years, when I actually started looking into other things that are out there in terms of from a spiritual standpoint. And I read a lot of self-help and personal development and business books. That's what I like to read. And I was reading this one book, and it said how a church is a nonprofit organization. As you mentioned, why isn't the church, why aren't they out in the field and doing these types of things? If you're a nonprofit, or from a business perspective, if you're a nonprofit organization, you should have people in place to find the grant money that is necessary for you to be doing those things, for you to pour back into your community. There's no reason why we got a building fund when it's a building grant that's available. All you have to do is write the grant, be in the area that is specified for, qualify for the grant, have your taxes paid up and up to date as a nonprofit organization, and there's no reason why you can't pull from the money that's being given to you instead of taking from the money that's coming in. I remember one time my grandmother went to her pastor and asked, and there was a big congregation, and she was like, hey, I need help with something. And they were like, oh, well, we can't do it, but you can take 10%. I can give you 10%. I can give this institution 10%. And that out of that 10%, the person that's leading this institution is taking that 10%. Another thing is Joel Osteen, just being here in Houston, Texas. Like, I had no idea when the whole Katrina thing happened and everything, stuff like that. I heard of it, but it wasn't until I'm actually traveling on 59. And I'm like, oh, it's a big ass church. Like, and he couldn't allow those people to come in there. But as you mentioned, not only a church on every corner, but also a church on every Sunday, whether it's on social media or whether it's actually on TV. Here in Houston, he's on TV every Sunday. So I look at situations like that to where unfortunately, it's not the shepherd and the flock, or the fleece. It's not that type of environment in the church anymore. It's a monetary opportunity. Not only is it a monetary opportunity, but it's a way to continue to spew out hate. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some great pastors out there that's preaching good stuff and this and the third. But in the community where I live in Magnolia, Texas, population 3,000. Everybody know everybody. Everybody this. When you see one of us, it's like, oh, we out here? Like, it's that it's that type of experience. I literally have had that at work. Like, they'll come, is it Black people that live out here? Like, it's those times, because you don't expect it. However, at the same time, you can always tell. I just went to like a goddamn Trump supported bar the other day. And as I'm going in with my coworker, and here I am, Black gay male, there she is, Hispanic lady, and we walking into a red bar. And I was like, okay, well, it's time to go ahead and disrupt the matrix. I don't know what they thought was going on, but we just came here to, have drinks and food. And we wound up having a really, really great time. But at the same time, I'm not going to pretend like I didn't feel like there were eyes that were on me, because I'm me and my skin in that space. And even when I'm sitting down and I'm like, oh, well, you know, don't y'all have wine down Wednesday? Yeah, but it's more so for the white people that come out here. I was like, oh, y'all have charcuterie? She was like, yeah, but it's like more for like white people. I'm like, give me the charcuterie, give me the bottle of wine, give me a shot of Patron, and give me a margarita, give me my wings.
It's funny that you say that. There's so many things I could talk about being on social media, and about how I see us as Black people and how we've stuck to a lot of the same traditions that we've grown up with. Now, these traditions that we've grown up with, even though we've instilled them in a lot of our children and a lot of our other family members, our middle siblings, and some of the older ones that might not have caught on quite quickly. Now, for me, I find that there is none of that seems to matter now to the young people. None of that. None of those educational values that your grandmother and your great-grandmother put on you. You see some of the older ones and middle ones trying to do skits and stuff on social media to show you how they grew up with discipline and what they've learned from their from their parents about saving money, how to find a job. And the young people don't seem to have a clue which direction to go in to be successful. Because back when me and you were growing up, we didn't have this huge social media platform. Now that the young Black people I'm saying that because it's what concerns me the most. Right. Seeing our young Black people not taking advantage of this huge opportunity in front of them.
I believe that just has a lot to do with the saying how they would be like, oh, well, let the streets raise them, or the streets raise them. And that's where a lot of us knew more than what we needed to know, because we were outside playing. Now they don't go outside and play anymore. Everything is right here in this phone. So we can't monitor what shows up. You can be on a site trying to bootleg watch a movie for free, but before that bootleg movie pop-up is going to be some pop-up pornography that's just automatically going to pop up there without you even knowing it. And this is your child, this is your youth. And then also you have to look at it in our time period. Everybody listened to the same radio station, 102 Jams, 94.5. Mm-hmm. So everybody watched the same cartoons, WB. That's what came on Saturday morning. Like we all grew up watching and doing the same thing. And now we have more of a culture to where whatever you want, whatever you're into, whatever you're interested in, even if you're not interested in, we're always being targeted by advertisement and by marketing. And you have to look at it from the perspective of, what are you really interested in? When I say you have to watch the things that you speak and what you say, because these phones hear and pick up on everything that the conversation is going on. So you be like, oh yeah, I want to keep talk from Banana Republic. Next thing you know, you get Banana Republic shit coming in your email or to your phone or the spam, and it's circularized targeted marketing. That's what's going on, and that leads into our youth. It's circularized targeted marketing for different demographics, for different areas. Not if I'm in an area to where the property that I live on and work on, this is the first development here in the past 15 years. They haven't built no apartment complexes over here in the past 15 years. Not only that, but now we have HEB. They're building Ross, Marshall, Burlington, TJ Maxx. Like, you should see the residents' response online, like on Facebook. Oh, why are you bringing an apartment complex here? You're just bringing in the trash. Probably going to be some low income and da 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 and this, that, and the third. I'm like, but y'all out here on acres of land living in trailer parks. Like, what y'all don't take you don't want to pay a trash fee because you used to burning your trash out in the field. Like, at a certain point in time, you have to elevate with the times. The number one thing that people are going to spend their money on is convenience. The number one thing that rich people spend their money on is convenience. And a lot of times it's about what's convenient, and convenience on both sides. There was actually a video the other